If I lost everything today, no money, no status, no companies, and had to make my first $1 million from scratch, I know exactly what I'd do. And the truth is, most people won't do it. Not because it's impossible, but because they're trapped in the wrong mindset. Most people are operating with a plan B, a backdoor, a comfort zone. But if you're watching this and you're serious about making your first million, not dreaming, not hoping, but actually doing it, you've got to eliminate plan B. Let me be clear. I'm not here to sell you motivation. I'm here to show you how. Step by step. What works, what doesn't. I've made billions. But your first million is the hardest. And I remember what that felt like. I was sleeping on the floor in my office, showering at the YMCA, eating cheap food from a convenience store. But I had one thing most people don't: relentless commitment, not just to survive, but to solve real problems that mattered. If you stay with me for the next few minutes, you're going to walk away with real tools, not just ideas. You'll learn what's working right now in the US, in Europe, in Australia, real markets. You'll get the roadmap. And if you're willing to act on it, I guarantee your life won't stay the same. So let's begin with the first principle. The millionaire mindset isn't optional, it's required. If you want to make your first million, it doesn't start with a business plan, it starts with what's going on up here in your head. And most people are wired to stay broke. Let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I just need to make enough to get by? Or maybe wealth just isn't meant for people like me? If you've ever said anything like that, I want you to write it down and then burn it. Because that script is not coming with you on this journey. I don't believe in setting limits. I believe in physics, probability, iteration, and making your first $1 million is a math problem, not a mystery. Here's what I did when I had nothing. Before we continue, drop in the comments where you are listening from. Now let's continue. I looked at where the money was already flowing, and I inserted myself into that stream. Not by begging, but by solving a problem inside it. Zip2, my first company, wasn't glamorous. It wasn't sexy. It was literally just helping newspapers get online directories for businesses. But it solved a real problem, and people paid for that. So here's your first assignment. Go look at industries around you right now where money is moving. You don't need a revolutionary idea, you need a useful one. Start with things like logistics, AI applications, freelance automation tools, local service marketplaces, digital health for seniors, remote learning platforms, simple apps that solve one nagging problem. All of these are printing money today. Not someday, today. You want to make your first million? Start by making your first $1,000 in profit. Not salary, not pretend money, real money that came from something you created, you built, you solved. Why? Because it means you've created value. You've shifted from consumer to producer. Most people never cross this line. They talk, they plan, they prepare, but they don't ship. And without shipping something real into the world, you're not playing the game. You're watching from the stands. So how do you start from zero? Simple. Look around, find something broken, fix it, charge for it. Don't overcomplicate this. You don't need a big company. You don't need investors. You don't even need a website. I started with cold calls. When I built Zip2, we literally walked into businesses, offered to build directories and maps. We didn't ask permission. We didn't wait for perfect timing. We just did it. And that's how we got paid. Here's a challenge for you. Talk to 10 people this week. Ask them what they hate doing. You'll find a pattern. That pattern, that's your first opportunity. It could be helping older folks understand their tech. It could be explaining hard things simply. It could be organizing cluttered garages. Whatever it is, don't just think about it. Do it once, get paid once, and suddenly your brain wakes up. Momentum is greater than motivation. See, once you've made even $100 outside a job, your whole mind shifts. You start to ask better questions. Instead of, can I do this? You ask, how fast can I scale this? That's how you win. So you've made your first $1,000 in profit, or maybe you're about to. Now what? Now, you find scale. Because the first 1,000 proves you can create value, but the first million, that comes when you learn to multiply that value. And here's the truth. Most people are stuck trading time for money. But time is finite. If you want real wealth, you need leverage, something that works while you sleep. Let me show you 4 fast lanes I'd use right now if I was starting from scratch. 1, knowledge to cash flow. You have knowledge, people don't. Could be coding, could be fitness, could be negotiation, could be parenting. Turn it into a course. Don't overthink. Just teach real people and charge them. You don't need thousands, you need 10. 10 people paying $100, that's $1,000. Do that once a month, you're at $12,000 a year. Make it better, increase the price, add a waiting list, now you're at 6 figures. Add a community around it, now you're scaling. 2, digital problem solving. Most businesses are terrible at tech, terrible systems, slow websites, clunky email, and they hate dealing with it. If you can solve a digital problem for them, clean up a process, automate tasks, redesign a broken thing, they will pay. There's a reason SaaS businesses exploded. It's not because people love software, it's because software solves real headaches. 3, hyperlocal needs, the underrated goldmine. Everyone is obsessed with global right now. But let me tell you something. The fastest money is often within 5 miles of your house. Elderly services, smart home setup, fixing systems for local stores that don't even know what automation is. Teach a teen how to run their parents' local newsletter, and you've got income and impact. Most people step over gold to chase hype. Don't be like them. Take a moment. Ask yourself this. What am I already doing that people find valuable but I've never charged for? Is it organizing? Is it editing? Is it explaining? You're already doing the hard part, you're just not getting paid yet. Flip that switch. Making $1 million isn't just a strategy game. It's a psychological shift. You stop seeing money as a paycheck and start seeing it as proof of value. Money is an echo of your impact. Want more money? Create more impact. Reach more people. Make their lives easier, faster, better. Don't try to look rich before you are rich. Don't waste time building the perfect business before testing if people will even pay. And please, don't chase trends just because they're hot. By the time it's hot, it's often too late. All right, this part's important. If you're still here listening, good. That tells me something about you. You're not just after quick money, you want to understand how this works. You want to think differently. That's rare. So let's talk mindset, because without rewiring how you think, you'll sabotage yourself every time. You can have the strategy, the skills, the market, but if your psychology is broken, you won't last. Mental model number 1, first principles thinking. This is how I approach everything from rockets to business to personal decisions. Break it down to the fundamentals. Ask, what are the truths that don't change? What's real here? What do I know is true? Example, someone says, you need a ton of money to start a business. Well, is that true number? That's assumptive thinking. The truth is, all you need is a customer and a solution. You see how that changes the game? Now you're not asking, how do I get investors? You're asking, who has a problem I can solve right now? Mental model number 2, asymmetric bets. You want to get wealthy, you have to get comfortable making asymmetric bets. What does that mean? It means placing a small risk that could result in a massive return. I did it with SpaceX, with Tesla, with PayPal. They weren't guaranteed to work, but the upside of success was so big, I was willing to risk failure. You don't need to risk your life like I did, but you do need to stop avoiding all risk. Comfort doesn't create wealth. Calculated courage does. Mental model number 3, direction over speed. This one's subtle but powerful. Everyone's in a rush, but if you're running fast in the wrong direction, you're just getting lost faster. What matters more is that you're facing the right way. That means, are you building skills that compound? Are you in a space that rewards creativity, not just labor? Are you solving a real problem or chasing attention? Let me ask you something. Are you building something you actually want to do for 5 years straight? If not, stop. Because no matter how good your plan is, if you're not willing to endure the boring days, the messy middle, the late nights, it won't matter. I worked 100-hour weeks for years, not because I'm a workaholic, but because I believed in what I was building. That's the difference. There's this myth that successful people just got lucky or had a special idea. That's not how it works. What really happens is this. You give up your evenings, you say no to parties, you feel lonely sometimes, but in return, you get freedom, you get to own your time, you get to say, I built this. And that is worth it. Most people are addicted to consumption. Netflix, news, social media, but nobody ever built a fortune from just watching. Every hour you'd normally spend consuming, use it to create something. A product, a message, a connection, a prototype, something that lives outside your head. Creation is leverage. Creation is proof of work. Creation is how you attract opportunity. Most people self-sabotage after their first big win. I've seen people make a few $100,000 and think they've made it. So they relax, they stop learning, they get comfortable, then they start comparing. Then they start consuming instead of creating. Then it collapses. It's not a money problem, it's a mental discipline problem. Let's talk about the 3 silent killers of wealth and how to spot them early. 1. Lifestyle creep. You make $250,000 and your expenses magically rise to $248,000. That's how people end up stuck again. But now with more stress and a bigger mortgage, do this instead. Every time your income grows, keep your lifestyle 2 steps behind it. Let your freedom grow, not your wardrobe. Delay flexing. Accelerate investing. 2. Ego growth. This one kills people quietly. You start believing your own hype. You stop asking questions. You stop surrounding yourself with smarter people. I've made this mistake myself, especially early at Zip2. I got cocky, thought I knew everything. It cost me years of speed. Real wealth stays curious. Ego doesn't. 3. Losing the hunger and letting comfort kill you. This is the one most people never recover from. When you finally get a taste of freedom, it's tempting to slow down. But if you slow down before systems are in place, before real sustainability, that income turns into sand. I don't think in terms of success, I think in terms of impact. I wake up and ask, what can I build today that matters 10 years from now? If you want to stay rich, you need automated income streams, digital products, software, royalties, scalable service businesses, trusted people who can operate without you, hire slowly, fire fast, keep people around you who call out your blind spots. Clear numbers to track everything, weekly reports, monthly targets, what gets measured gets improved. Routines that guard your time and energy. Mornings are sacred for me. I keep my phone away for the first hour. If I lose my mornings, I lose my mind. Don't fall for the flash. Fall in love with the process. Do you know why I still sleep in the factory? Why I still engineer with the team? Because that's what I love. That's where I grow. That's what compounds. Even when we launched Falcon 1 and failed, I didn't run to hide or blame people. I dug deeper. The mission wasn't money, it was purpose. And that's why we didn't quit. Ask yourself, are you solving new problems or just circling old ones? Are you more excited about creating or just collecting things? Are you still uncomfortable sometimes or just managing comfort? If your answer is the second one in each, you're coasting. And coasting is just slow dying. The purpose of money isn't money. It's leverage to build. It's fuel to impact people. It's space to think clearly. If you're using money to buy dopamine, you're going to crash. But if you use it to create something bigger than yourself, that's when life gets really good. Making your first million isn't about the money. It's about who you become in the process. And that version of you can never go back. Everyone wants the money, but they don't want the process that makes the money possible. They want the rewards without the rewiring. And I get it. I've been broke. I've slept on the floor. I've eaten hot dogs 8 days in a row. But I didn't complain. I rewired my brain. You want to be a millionaire? You need to become someone who doesn't flinch when it's hard. Someone who builds when it's quiet, who works while others doubt, and who keeps showing up when no one's clapping. This is what the millionaire's mind actually looks like. They're builders, not braggers. They don't talk about what they're going to do. They're too busy doing it. They solve every day. Their default isn't, why me? It's, how do I fix this? They don't freeze. They find the crack in the wall and break through it. Even when they have money, they don't flash. They reinvest. They treat the first million like the foundation, not the finish line. They learn fast and forget the noise. They don't waste time trying to be right. They test, they adapt, and they move. Let me say something that's very real to me. I know some of you listening right now are broke. You might be 50 or 22 or 65. You might be divorced, in debt, in doubt. But I'll say this. I've seen people rise from far worse than where you are. And they didn't do it by reading more quotes. They did it by waking up differently. They decided they were going to act like the person they wanted to become, even before they had the money. And that decision changed everything. Stop asking, am I too late? Start asking, am I finally ready? You're not too old. You're not too behind. I started SpaceX when I had no aerospace background. I got told no by 95% of people. If I had waited to feel ready, I'd still be waiting. Here's what I want you to do tomorrow morning. Wake up and act like your bank account already depends on what you do in the next 90 days, because honestly, it does. Every call you avoid, every doubt you believe, every hour you waste scrolling, that's your million bleeding out in front of you. Every extra hour of building, every risk you take that stretches you, every problem you solve without waiting for permission, that's your million gathering speed. It's getting closer, faster than you think. You don't need hype. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need permission. You need to wake up and decide, I'm done living like I can't